So, live video is starting. There. Okay. This way I get comments better.
Okay.
I think this works.
If that's the way you want it.
Yes. Of course, no comments yet.
Well, yes.
What happened to you?
Oh, I want to turn this keyboard off.
Oh. Let's see.
Let me make sure it's off because I don't want to. All right, it is. Okay, so we are live and
You're live and here and
in living color and all of that.
yes.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's the fourth Saturday in June, and it's time for our June Jam,
Yes.
which just means that we're going to play a lot of our favorite songs and all. And I guess we'll start out with a Gordon Lightfoot song called Did She Mention My Name? It's so nice to meet an old friend.
What happened? Did you come unplugged?
Sorry, folks. It's so nice to meet an old friend and pass the time of day and talk about the hometown a million miles away. Is the ice still in the river? Are the old folks still the same? And by the way, did she mention my name? Did she mention my name just in passing? And when the morning came, do you remember if she dropped a name or two? Is the home team still on fire? Do they still win all the games? And by the way, did she mention my name? Is the landlord still a loser? Do his signs hang in the hall? Are the young girls still as pretty in the city in the fall? Does the laughter on their faces still put the sun to shame? And by the way, did she mention my name? Did she mention my name just in passing? And when the talk ran high, did the look in her eyes seem far away? Is the old roof still leaking when the late snow turns to rain? And by the way, did she mention my name? Did she mention my name just in passing? And looking at the rain, do you remember if she dropped a name or two? Won't you say hello from someone? There'll be no need to explain. And by the way, did she mention my name?
That was nice.
There it is, just for you.
I love that song.
Okay.
Now, is that a Jim Croce?
No, that's a Gordon Lightfoot
Gordon
song.
Lightfoot. You said so at the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right, Gordon.
Gordon Lightfoot. Anybody here yet?
We seem to have 4 folks, but no comments.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, there's viewers, but there's nobody.
Okay. Well, I guess they're
Who's
just so enthralled by our repartee that.
Yes, just here to listen and enjoy. Oh, here we are, Mike Mueller.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hello, George and Lynn. Good to see you. And Lavonda, I made it again.
You sure did, Lavonda. That's terrific.
Yes, good to have you.
Good to have you guys.
Yes.
Mike is the latest inductee into the Mountain Laurel Autoharp Gathering Hall of Fame, I'll have y'all know.
Congratulations
Yeah.
there. That's wonderful.
Got to watch him give his acceptance speech and everything. It was quite a night for Mike, for sure.
Kathy Bertel is here. Good to
Hello,
see
Kathy.
you too. Good to see you.
It's been a while. Glad you stopped by.
And then I'm not Lois Conklin.
Hello, Lois.
I'm here too. Hi all. Hi Lois.
Hello, Lois.
Welcome all.
Indeed.
We're so happy to have you guys. We're having kind of a warm.
It's hot.
It's
pushing 90 degrees.
It's hot. Might as well
It's
say
not as hot as it is down in Florida, I guess.
Oh, and some other places. Boy,
Yeah.
the Southwest, I hear, is pretty hot. Of course, it always is, but this time of year it gets hot. Might be a little early for those kind of temperatures.
Okay. I just tuned this morning. Bad Autoharp.
Oh, no.
Anyway, here is a song that was written and recorded by Steve Goodman. It's called My Old Man. I miss my old man tonight, and I wish he was here with me, with his corny jokes and his cheap cigars. He could look you in the eye and sell you a car. That's not an easy thing to do, but no one ever knew a more charming creature on this earth than my old man. He was a pilot in the big war, in the U.S. Army Air Corps, in a C-47 with a heavy load full of combat cargo for the Burma Road. And after they dropped the bomb, he came home and married Mom. And not long after that, he was my old man. And oh, the fights we had when my brother and I got him mad. He'd get all boiled up and he'd start to shout, and I knew what was coming, so I tuned him out. And now the old man's gone, and I'd give all I own to hear what he said when I wasn't listening to my old man. I miss the old man tonight, and I can almost see his face. He was always trying to watch his weight, and his heart only made it to 58. For the first time since he died, late last night I cried. I wondered when I was gonna do that for my old man.
Kurt Gleason is with us.
Hey, Kurt.
He said, "Hey, kids." Kurt checking in. And then Mike said, "My granddaughter has her first dance recital today. Can't stay too long. Have a great session. I'm very fortunate!" Exclamation point.
Indeed you are,
Yes.
Mike. That's true. And Tell your granddaughter to break a leg. Maybe you better not.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I hope she does well.
And then Kurt said, the joke about mandolin players is that we spend half our lives tuning and half playing out of tune. And then he said, huge fan of Steve Goodman, Prine, and Buffett.
Yeah, they were great musicians. This auto harp, it has always been hard to tune for some reason. I have an iPhone app that actually is a talking instrument tuner.
Yeah.
But I think it was really designed for those small instruments that only have 6 or 12 strings, those little ones. And I can hit a string and it'll tell me it's so much flat, and then without making any adjustments, I'll hit it again and it'll tell me it's so much sharp.
Yeah, you lose confidence pretty quick.
It's So, especially the bass strings. The bass strings of an auto harp are very tough to tune properly. You almost need a harmonic like guitar players do. Hal Weeks can do it, but I don't know how he does it. He gets harmonics and then he tunes really well. So what I do is get the bass strings as close as I can, and then I tune up into the middle and higher octaves, and then I tune the bass strings and get to those strings so that there's no beats. And it works pretty well, but today it's not really what I want. But
Pat Byrne is here.
Hello,
says,
Pat.
hi, you guys.
Good evening.
George, he said. And then Kurt said, only 12 strings. Ha.
Yeah.
Good to have you, Pat. Welcome.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've got 37 strings
Yeah.
to tune.
37.
Yeah, all the way from that F2
So you have
to
an extra.
C6.
Thought it was 36 strings.
All the luthiers have 37
37.
strings. Tahoma has 37, but hers is the D6. Champ has an A2 down here.
Wow.
It's just a different way
Pat
of stringing
says, oh,
things.
wow.
There's quite a range.
It's a pretty incredible instrument when you think about it.
Yeah.
You can do a lot with an auto harp.
And this harp, because it doesn't have real tall rubber feet, works very well with a resonator box that I built like 4 or 5 years ago. So we're going to go play bluegrass with our senior center people.
Yep.
Here along about next month. I was just too busy to play with them this month.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Pat said, so many strings.
Yeah. So little time. And we're into summer now, guys. As summer, the first day of summer was Thursday.
Yes.
So now the days will start getting shorter again.
Well.
But hey, there you go. Anyhow, here's a song that was written and recorded by Emmylou Harris. It's called Big Black Dog.
Oh.
A big black dog, a little too much gray around the muzzle. A big black dog, why she ended up at the pound is a puzzle. A big black dog, did she run away because somebody didn't treat her right? Did they leave her out in the cold night after a lonely night? A big black dog, a big black dog. I found her one day down there at the metro. A big black dog, waiting in a cage in line for the death row. Big black dog, did somebody put her out on the road and did just not care? Did they think an old dog was too much trouble for them to bear? A big black dog, her name is Beth. you're not yellow, Bella, Bella, my big black dog. Big black dogs, they're everywhere, looking for a home, they're hungry and scared. All they need is food and attention. They'll give you back love and sometimes redemption, I'll swear. You can find it there in a big black dog. Her name is a big black dog. She may be a little rough around the edges, a big black dog. When you throw a ball, she'll always go and fetch it. This big black dog, with a brand new leash and a brand new collar, it's a brand new game. I love to see the way she runs to me when I holler out her name. My big black dog. Her name is Bella, Bella. You're not brown, you're not yellow, Bella, Bella. My big black dog, my big black dog.
Oh my.
Yeah. Say, rescue a dog.
Well, you know, they need you as much as you need them, and you need them as much as they need you, and you don't realize it till you do it. And then you've got one. Dogs will love you. Hey, Nan's here.
Hey, Nan.
Hi, good to see
Welcome.
you this afternoon.
Been a while.
Good
Good to see
you
ya.
too. Wow.
Yeah, I cannot imagine life
Without a dog.
without a dog.
And we've had big black dogs. I've got one right now. Of course, she's also white and speckled.
Yeah,
But
well,
there's
she's
a
not,
lot
there's
of
a lot
black,
of black.
on there.
We've had several.
Big black
Well,
dogs.
people would say Indy is a big black dog.
Yes.
He is a black dog, but he's kind of a medium size. You know, there are huge black dogs
There's
out there,
great
folks,
big black dogs.
and they need attention too. So,
Yes.
we just had our annual visit from the guide dog people.
Yes.
And that turned out real well, except that I thought it was July 18th.
Right. So we had a
and
little
she
surprise.
showed up on the 18th
It's
of
a
June.
June. I'm like,
I had just gotten up from a nap.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't.
I
was just in my lounging around clothes, and I
It worked
said,
out all right. She
Yeah.
didn't really care.
I said, well, I mean, I have to change clothes, if we want to go out somewhere. And she said, oh, you don't have to. We don't need to go for it. So that's the first time that's ever happened. But she had a dog with her named Quincy.
Quincy, yes.
And she was 18 months old and just finishing her training.
She was a little yellow lab.
Into the next class, and she and Indy wanted to play so
Oh
bad.
my goodness.
Oh, man.
They were being kept to their training.
Yep. But I found out something that is pretty good. They do not have an age limit.
That's
like
right. She did
a lot
tell
of
you
the
that.
guide dog schools have, although they don't talk about it. They'll come up with a different reason. But, I talked to her, and I said, well, Indy's probably my last dog because, I'll be close to 80 years old, and, that's probably too old. And she said, no, if you're healthy enough to complete the training, if you've got the mental and physical ability to complete the training, we've taken people for their first dogs at the age of 85.
My goodness, see, I'd missed
So there's one more dog in my future if my health holds up.
Yes.
and everything, even if Indy works all the way to term. He did so well at MLAG.
Yes.
And CAG too. But
At the gatherings. He did both at both of them.
California Autoharp Gathering and Mountain Laurel Autoharp Gathering. The Mountain Laurel Autoharp gathering was kind of a nightmare. The gathering was great.
Yeah, beautiful.
It was great. I didn't do well in the contest, but that's because I really didn't have a chance to prepare well enough. But the flights there and back were nightmares. My flight out of Huntsville was delayed, so I missed my flight to Philadelphia. And then the guy that was my assistant really didn't like his job. He didn't want to be there, so he took me to the closest gate that had a Philadelphia flight, and he was supposed to take me to the gate for the next Philadelphia flight. So I'm sitting there for 2 or 3 hours not knowing what's going on, where I'm at, how to get from anywhere else to there and back, and all of this stuff. My luggage went on the flight I was supposed to be on, so it and I got separated. And Ivan Stiles was my roommate, and he was there to pick me up, and the poor guy was just about done in by the time they ran him around the whole Philadelphia airport, which is kind of a nightmare in and of itself.
Well, that's the impression I had.
And I mean, golly, I just felt so bad for him, but you know, there wasn't anything anybody could do about it. And but we had a great time at the gathering, met a lot of old friends and made a lot of new friends. I got to play a bowed psaltery.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
Which was interesting.
Instrument.
It's
the way you described it to me.
It's a pretty easy instrument to play, and Ivan introduced me to a fellow who makes them, and I am a person who my grandfather on my mother's side was like this too. If you give me an instrument and a few minutes, I'll play you a simple song on it. You know, it's just the way we are. And the guy showed me how to play scales on the psaltery, and then I started playing simple songs. And then he decided he was going to try to teach me vibrato, and then he was going to use all of these advanced things. It's a fun instrument to play. I might get one. They're not real expensive. Did get to be in the contest. But I didn't make it to the second round. So if there's a next time, we'll be better prepared and see if we can take another championship. There were great concerts, really, really great concerts. Some fabulous jams, lots of good companionship.
And you'd say congratulations to Bay Allen.
Yeah, Bay Allen won the championship, so congratulations to him.
Yes. Out there, and hats off to you, which I don't have one of. But.
Had lunch the next to the last day with Doug Pratt. And Ivan was there, and there was another fellow whose name escapes me, but he and Doug have had a lot of experience playing autoharps with bluegrass groups. So I just soaked up all kinds of tips and tricks so that I have a standing invite to play with a bluegrass group, but I don't do it because I can barely hear the autoharp and it's on my lap.
Yeah,
so
you're right up next to it.
What's the point? And yeah, you got to be acoustic, you know, and I understand that.
Electric.
Except, whoops, sorry about that. Except for the bass player, but they talked about how to accompany without making people upset because you want to stay down in these low strings. You don't want to go, they said, don't go above your last coiled string, which for me would be here. So I learned a lot, and I had discovered that my resonator box works a week or so before we went to the gathering. So I've been messing around with that. It changes a lot of the angles and all, so I have to be careful. But I'm probably going to go ahead and take the plunge and go back and see if I can play with them again. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we ought to play some music, huh?
One more. Nan said, yes, good to see you too. I so often
Amen.
fall asleep in the afternoon. So I'm.
Yeah, tell me about
I know
it.
what you mean.
Yeah, I do that too. I can fall asleep anytime these days.
Yeah, just sit in the chair for a minute.
Yep. And this guide dog school lets their guide dogs be up on beds if their owners want them to.
Yeah, and furniture.
And furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody let Indy on a bed. I know, because if
Yes,
I don't close him up in his kennel,
Yeah.
the next thing I know, he's up in bed with me. So. Okay, this song is called Casey's Last Ride, and it was written and recorded by, well, it was written by Chris Christopherson. A lot of people have recorded it. The person I heard it first from was John Denver. Casey joins the hollow sound of silent people walking down the stairway to the subway in the shadows down below, following their footsteps through the neon darkened corridors of silent desperation, never speaking to a soul. The poison air he's breathing has the dirty smell of dying, 'cause it's never seen the sunshine and it's never felt the rain. But Casey minds the arrows and ignores the fatal echoes, the clicking of the turnstile and the rattle of his chain. Oh, she said, Casey, it's been so long since I've seen you. Here, she said, just a kiss to make a body smile. See, she said, I've put on new stockings just to please you. Lord, she said, Casey, can you only stay a while? Casey leaves the underground and stops inside the Golden Crown for something wet to wipe away the chill that's on his bones. Seeing his reflection in the lives of all the lonely men who reach for anything they can to keep from going home. Standing in the corner, Casey drinks his pint of bitter, never glancing in the mirror at the people passing by. Then he stumbles as he's leaving, and he wonders if the reason is the fear that's in his belly or the tear that's in his eye. Oh, she said, I suppose you seldom think about me. Now, she said, now that you've a family of your own. Still, she said, it's so blessed good to feel your body. Lord, she said, Casey, it's a shame to be alone. Oh, she said, Casey, it's been so long since I've seen you. Here she said, just a kiss to make a body smile. See, she said, I've put on new stockings just to please you. Lord, she said, Casey, can you only stay a while? Lord, she said, Casey, it's a shame to be alone.
I love that song.
I do too. It's a very strange chord progression.
Yes.
So,
It's absolutely beautiful. So.
thank you. I hope everybody liked it as much as we did. Okay, let's see. Here's a song that I first heard played by one of my camp counselors around a campfire when I was about 16 years old. It was written by James Stevens and recorded by the Weavers, which was a 50s era folk group where Pete Seeger kind of came to fame. He was performing before that, but and it's called The Frozen Logger. As I sat down one evening, 'twas in a small cafe, a 40-year-old waitress to me these words did say, I see that you're a logger and not just a common bum, 'cause no one but a logger stirs his coffee with his thumb. My lover was a logger, there's none like him today. If you'd pour whiskey on it, he'd eat a bale of hay. He never shaved his whiskers from off his horny hide. He'd just drive them in with a hammer and bite them off inside. My lover came to see me upon one freezing day. He held me in his fond embrace, which broke 3 vertebrae. He kissed me when we parted, so hard he broke my jaw. I could not speak to tell him he forgot his mackinaw. I saw my lover leaving, sauntering through the snow, going gaily homeward at 48 below. The weather, it tried to freeze him, it tried its level best. At 100 degrees below zero, he buttoned up his vest. It froze clean through to China, it froze to the stars above. At 1,000 degrees below zero, it froze my logger love. They tried in vain to thaw him, and would you believe me, sir, they made him into axe blades to chop the Douglas fir. And so I lost my lover, and to this cafe I come, and here I wait till someone stirs his coffee with his thumb.
Yes. Debbie Lane is here.
Hello, Debbie.
She said, only here for a few minutes.
Well, I'm glad you stopped by.
Today is our 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Absolutely. And she says, have fun, everyone. And that is so great.
Yeah,
is
congratulations.
amazing.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you don't hear about that too often.
If we're
anymore.
spared, ours comes up in 2 years.
Yep, we've been together, known each other for 50.
Yeah, we've been together.
Hung out together.
Yeah, did all kinds of stuff.
Oh, man.
Some of which we probably shouldn't talk about. Okay.
Yeah, the anniversaries are for memories, too.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, wow. Looking back on that many years.
It'd take you back to that time when radio was still kind of king, and the internet hadn't taken it off the air.
Didn't have internet.
Didn't have internet. Maybe we were better off. At least people couldn't. Anyway.
Which came first, the internet or Betamax? I mean,
Betamax.
I think you're right.
No, I am right. The internet was in universities and things in the very early 90s, and Betamax came out in like mid 70s.
Kurt said, so you met when you were 4?
No, thank you, but
No,
I wish. That would mean I'd only be 50 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, we met in college.
Yeah.
I was in a real bind because some of my books hadn't arrived on tape, and I was cruising for a bruising for midterms.
Right.
And my roommate, who is best described as a social buffalo, Charlie McClear, God love him, he said, I'll find you some readers. I'm tired of hearing you piss and moan about it. So he goes down into the lobby. Our dorm was co-ed. One side was female and the other side was male, and the lobby was common to everybody.
Right.
And he walks up to Lynn and 3 of her friends and says, hey, you girls want to make some money?
Right. Well, the state would pay.
Yeah, the state
for us
paid
to read.
But it's just.
But it's the way he did it. We're
so
like,
he
what?
finally got it across that his roommate, me, needed readers.
Debbie said I was 17 when we got married.
Oh my goodness.
17. Yes.
So we hooked up, and it was Lynn and Nan, her sister, who's with us this afternoon. And then
a couple of other friends that were roommates.
A lady named Georgia and a young lady named Linnell. And I said, look, here's what I want y'all to do. I want each of you to read to me for a half hour, no longer, and then switch off. Don't worry about mispronouncing words. If you don't know how to pronounce something, I'll tell you how. And I said, you just keep reading to me until the curfew. When the men had to leave. Yeah, when we had to leave. And they did. And they did that for several nights, and they got me through my midterms. And then they all went their separate ways and didn't want to do it anymore, but Lynn hung out.
I've stayed with you.
Lynn stayed with me.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say,
The rest is history. Pinkie Pie is here.
Hello, Pinkie.
Hi,
from
Lynn
Canada.
and George. Hi. Welcome.
Hope it's not.
She said, we'll try to spend a little time with you. My internet is so sporadic.
Oh,
and I keep falling off, and that is why I keep disappearing. Well, I hope you don't fade off.
Indeed.
And that you get to stay with us.
So anyway, in the days before internet, one of the things that was interesting to do was sit up and listen to the radio late at night.
Oh, yeah.
Larry King was the king of late night talk radio.
Oh, yeah.
He was on from midnight until 5 in the morning every night, Monday through Friday. And there were a lot of others, Jim Bohannon, who loved to talk to people about psychic stuff and UFOs.
Oh, my
and
goodness,
things.
yes.
Well, this is a song about those days. And it was written by Taffy and Bill Danoff and recorded by John Denver. And it's called Late Night Radio.
I love this one.
There's lonely hearts in Arkansas, there's truckers in Des Moines, all there to keep me company in the early morn. A world unknown to daytime is forever going on, the airways of the nation between midnight and the dawn. Late night radio. take it everywhere I go. My best friend when I'm lonely is the late night radio. Well, I turn the dial a little bit past 101.2 in time to catch the news, to see who's shooting who. Then I hunt around for old songs, they're so good to hear again. To think of how it was, imagine how it might have been. Late night radio, take it everywhere I go. My best friend when I'm lonely is the late night radio. La la la, sing along, 'cause I never know the words. La 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 la. I'd love to call a talk show, but I haven't got the nerve. La la, whoa, radio. Well, the Lord is still my shepherd, but that preacher's gotta go. This time of night my interest lies in UFOs. So I turn the dial a little past 56.3 to find myself a lullaby to rock me off to sleep. Late night radio, take it everywhere I go. My best friend when I'm lonely is the late night radio. Late night radio, take it everywhere I go. My best friend when I'm lonely is the late night radio.
Kurt said, great song.
Thanks,
He's
Kurt.
right. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's a good song.
I've been known to listen to late night radio.
Well, you see, the thing is, it didn't really go away. It just moved
It
to the
just
internet.
Right.
All the kooks hang out, talking about all this stuff, just like they
no
matter
always
how
have.
things change, they remain the same. So we still got people out there, claiming they've been kidnapped by aliens.
Oh, and about Bigfoot.
And Bigfoot.
Yeah, now we've got to talk about Bigfoot.
And then, of course, all
the psychics.
All the psychics, and then the
Yes.
political radicals on both sides.
My goodness, not that much
they're fun
of
to
them.
watch.
They're more into the aliens and the psychics than they are the polys.
Well, I think that some of the polys are aliens, really, because they just don't strike me as actually being human beings. But that's sorry about that. I am an equal opportunity politician disrespecter. I don't like any of them. And by the way, the next program in 3
yes.
weeks, now there's a 5th Monday in June, so it'll be the 13th of July, is going to be called
When we're back.
Protesters and Politicians.
Yes.
And we're going to make fun of everybody that week. We're going to sing old protest songs, and we're going to disrespect every politician we can think of, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Now, understand,
Kick
it's
'em around.
all done.
Kick 'em
It's
around.
all done in good fun. So, don't dox me.
No.
Don't swap me. Don't destroy my life on the internet or anything like that. Okay, because it's just not.
Folks aren't going to want
Folks
to
who
do
that really need to get a life.
Well,
Sooner or later. Anyway, let's move on. Well, we had a interesting thing happen down home here. We've had a volunteer fire department for years and years and years. Captain Bob is the chief of the department, and they put out fires around here. They put out, whenever there's a fire, you can count on Captain Bob and his boys to jump in their old fire truck. And they put out barn fires. They put out house fires. They put out store fires and forest fires, and you name it. They for years they put them out. Well, a while back, a fella come down here and built a plant to manufacture stuff. And I don't know exactly what he manufactured, but anyway, he had a lot of money, And so he decided that our little town down home here ought to have a real fire department with professionals from the city, new equipment, and all of this kind of stuff. And he bought all that and set it up. And gradually, nobody called Captain Bob anymore and his boys. And they'd sit around their old firehouse talking about how it used to be and everything. They still had their old truck and all. And one day, this feller's plant caught on fire. And he had some hazardous chemicals and stuff in there, I guess. And his city boys didn't want to fight the fire. They said, we'll control it, but your plant's going to be a total loss. And he said, I'll give you $1 million if you can save my plant. And they said, I'm sorry, it just can't be done. Well, Captain Bob heard about it. Him and his boys, they all got together. They jumped in their old fire truck and they took off and they come down there to that plant. And buddy, they just crashed through the wall. They didn't even stop. They crashed through the wall, and the next thing you know, all you see is hip pockets and elbows. They're stringing hoses and slinging water, and I'll be gollies, they put that fire out. Put it out. The big city boys couldn't do it or wouldn't do it. Captain Bob and his fellers put that fire out. And Rocky, the disc jockey from KHICK radio, come down there to, cover the event because there ain't much else happening around here down home. And he wanted to interview Captain Bob. So he got together and he said, Captain Bob, that was the most heroic thing I've ever seen. Why did you do it? And Captain Bob said, well, Rocky, we did what we had to do. I said, well, weren't you frightened? And he said, Rocky, we did what we had to do. And he said, well, did you know that the feller that owned that plant's going to give you all $1 million? And he said, yeah, I heard tell. And he said, well, what are you going to do with the money? And he said, well, Rocky, the first thing we're going to do is fix the brakes on that damned old truck. Now,
oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah.
They did what they had to do, because if they didn't, they weren't going to get out.
Oh, dear.
I'm looking for down home stories like that. You may hear more of them if I find them. And here's another down home kind of thing. This song was written by Mike Snyder and was recorded by Lardo and Burley, the Moron Brothers. And it's called If My Nose Was Running Money. You say that I don't love you. You say my love's untrue. If I were a rich man, I'd prove my love to you. I'd buy you a diamond ring, a new fur coat or two. If my nose was running money, honey, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. I'd build you a mansion up on the mountaintop. If my nose was running money, but honey, it's not. It's a booger of a problem that I got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, we'd have everything we please. Anytime we needed cash, all I'd have to do is sneeze. We'd all be eating high on the hog, and the hog wouldn't be so lean. If my nose was running money, honey, we'd be rolling in the green. It's a booger of a problem that I got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, honey, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd buy you a John Deere tractor and we'd get rid of that old gray mule. I'd carry you down to the store, buy you a brand new pair of shoes, and you'd not have to be plowing barefoot the way you always do. It's a booger of a problem that I got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, we could eat out all the time. The fanciest restaurants in town is where we'd go to dine. I'd blow my nose and pay the check right before we leave. We could give the waitress a great big tip from what I wiped off on my sleeve. It's a booger of a problem that I got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. Not one of Lynn's favorites.
No, but there's a certain sort of charm to it, I suppose.
Well,
it's nothing to sneeze at.
That's right.
You just don't want
put your nose in the air.
Yes.
Anything like that. Any comments that
Nope,
I have?
nope.
Oh, okay, cool. We've either driven everybody off or they're just absolutely amazed at our prowess here. Here's a song that was written by Louis Okonkwo and Joey Albert and was recorded by the new writers of the Purple Sage. It's called Old Man Noel. Old Man Noel was a mean old soul. He lived across the hill. I didn't know him very well. Now I never will. He had some sheep that grazed his land. He was very old. All the kids would stay away. We knew he was a scold. Yeah, but our best treehouse was on his hill, and our navy sailed on his pond. The years have only brought me pain now. I'm sad the old man's gone. Now the freeway rolls where old man Noel used to run his sheep in the meadow. And as you drive by, if you really try, you still can see his shadow. Now old man Noel was a mean old soul. At least the kids thought so. But we were much, much younger then. Now I just don't know. The way it was when it was his, the land was clear and free. It was his life, and with his wife, it was all that he could see. So when the houses came and brought the kids who thought he was mean, think now at last I see how sad he must have been. Now the freeway rolls where old man Noel used to run his sheep in the meadow. And as you drive by, if you really try, you still can see his shadow. Yeah, you still can see his shadow.
Ziggy is here.
Hello, Ziggy.
Hi, George
From
and
Germany.
Lynn. Greetings again from Germany. Smile face.
Good evening.
He said, am late because I was at the California Karen's Zoom session.
Ah, yes. I would love to do that, but there's just no way I can be in two places at once.
I said, we'll listen later to what I missed from the beginning. Smile face.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah, we
if,
have some good stuff on there.
yeah, Karen, that's a good. It's a Zoom song circle.
Yeah.
Karen Terrell Hoffman runs it, and it's called Rock Mostly. So if you want to hear a bunch of auto harpers play rock and roll,
Which is very cool, by the way.
yeah,
It's
see if
a lot of good songs.
let me know, and I'll see if I can wangle you an invitation. We need an email address, and then she'll put you on your mailing list. If you attend, if you stop coming, then she takes you off. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Third and fourth Saturdays. It's a lot of fun. All right. Here is a poem that was written by Rudyard Kipling. And its ending line is one that almost everybody our age has heard at least once or twice. Jim Croce set it to music. It's called Gunga Din. You may talk of gin and beer when you're quartered safe out here, and you're set to petty fights and all their shot. When it comes to water, shot, when it comes to slaughter, you'll do your work for water, and you'll lick the bloomin' boots of him that's got it. Now in India's sunny clime, where I used to spend my time, serving Her Majesty the Queen. Of all the black-faced crew, the finest man I knew was our regimental beastie Gunga Din. He was Dean, 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 you limpin' lump of brick dust, Gunga Din. Hi, slippy hither out, water get it painty loud, you squidgy-nosed old idol, Gunga Din. The uniform he wore was nothing much before, rather less than half of that behind. For a piece of twisty rag, a goatskin water bag, was all the field equipment he could find. When a sweating troop train lay in a siding through the day, where the heat would make your bloomin' eyebrows crawl, we shouted hurry by till our throats were bricky dry, and we whopped him 'cause he couldn't serve us all. It was Dean, 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 you heathen, where the mischief have you been? You put some jolty in it, or I'll marrow you this minute, if you don't fill up my helmet, Gunga Din. He would dock and carry one till the longest day was done, and he didn't seem to know the use of fear. If we charged or broke or cut, you could bet your bloomin' nut he'd be waiting 50 paces right flying rear. With his mock-sick on his back, he would skip with our attack and watch us till the bugles made retire. And for all his dirty hide, he was white, clear white inside, when he went to tend the wounded under fire. It was Dean, 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 with the bullets kicking dust spots on the green. When the cartridges ran out, you could hear the front file shout, send ammunition mules, Gunga Din. I shan't forget the night when I dropped behind the fight, with a bullet where my belt plate should have been. I was choking mad with thirst. The man that spied me first was our good old grinning, grunting Gunga Din. He lifted up my head and he plugged me where I bled, and he gave me half a pint of water green. It was crawling and it stunk. Of all the drinks I drunk, I'm most grateful to the one from Gunga Din. It was Dean, 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 There's a beggar with a bullet in his spleen. He's chawing up the ground, and he's kicking it all around. For God's sake, get the water, Gunga Din. He carried me away to where a dooley lay, and a bullet came and killed the beggar clean. He put me safe inside just before he died. I hope you like your drink, said Gunga Din. So I'll meet him later on in the place where he has gone, where it's always double drill and no canteen. He'll be squatting on the cove, giving drinks to poor damn souls, and I'll get a swig in hell from Gunga Din. Yes, Din, 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 you Lazarusian leather Gunga Din. Though I belted you and flayed you by the living God that made you, you're a better man than I am. Gunga Din.
Well, Ziggy said, I don't play rock and roll, but am allowed to join Karen's song circle nevertheless.
Yeah, well, I say rock mostly.
Rock mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
But you'll hear some pretty good Autoharp players. Ziggy's there. Drew Smith comes by a lot.
Yeah, Drew.
And Howard Solomon and Al the Freight Dog. Anyway,
Wow.
let's see. Here's George Gershwin's song from
Yes.
Porgy and Bess. Lynn's going to sing this one for us. It's called Summertime.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Well, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Well, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, Lavonda said, love this song, especially with Lynn singing it. Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lavonda.
you. It's one of my favorites. I love Gershwin. Always have loved Gershwin.
Well, her family were classical
Classical
musicians and loved
musicians.
Broadway and
Yeah.
all of that. My family were just country folks.
Country folk
This is
musicians.
all they were. Okay. Well, if you haven't already left a comment, especially if you're new to the show, throw a comment our way. Tell us who you are, where you're listening from, and a little bit about yourself. We like to get to know the people that we're playing for.
Yes.
We kind of see this as a virtual gathering out on our front porch.
Yep.
And we're just singing songs and talking and telling stories and having a good time. So if you're new or whatever, you haven't left a comment, we'd appreciate it if you do that. You don't have to, of course, but we'd appreciate it if you would. Also, if you will follow this page, you will get an invitation. You'll get an invitation usually on the Wednesday or Thursday before each show, telling you a little bit about what the show's going to be about and all. It'll show up in your news feed. If you will send a look up George McCoy and send me a friend request, and maybe mention that you heard about, you're part of the Autoharp Down Home thing, then you'll get an actual personalized invitation to the event. So if you want to do any of those things, we'd appreciate it very much.
We have Lois said, fun session, got to stay the whole time. And Ricky Elliott, been a long, long time.
He sure
Feel
has,
like
Rick.
I'm sitting and listening in your apartment in Linden. Love you.
Yeah.
Oh, Ricky, man.
Ricky.
I don't know what to say. I'm
Wow.
so...
It was great to run into you again.
Yes.
We gotta get together and do that Facebook Messenger thing or whatever,
Yes,
and just
yes.
talk for a while.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of years.
We gotta catch up for sure somehow. But I'm so glad that you could come by and listen to us. We're still about the same as we always were, except we're a whole lot older.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Got our kids raised. And
Ricky said, yes, 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 in a heart.
yeah.
Can't wait.
You're friends with her now, right?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. Well, we'll figure out a way to get together and do a Zoom or some kind of a FaceTime there's a live message thing that goes with Facebook.
Yeah, our daughter Amber was doing that when she went down to Gulf Shores with her kids, and then she was doing that messenger thing with me.
Yeah.
And I got to see the beach and everything. It was just beautiful down there.
And when Amber and I went to the California Autoharp gathering, she
did that then too.
Did that too,
and I got to meet some folks out there. It was great.
Yeah. So we'll do that one way or another here very soon. But thanks for coming by. You may hear some songs you heard back then.
It's
hard to say. All right. Here's one that was written by C.W. Kalb and recorded by Ray Stevens. It's called The Day That Clancy Drowned. In the town of old Milwaukee, back in 1982, we celebrated 40 years of making that famous brew. The master of the taster's art, Milwaukee's #1, and he could fairly feel flavor as it swished across his tongue. Overtime and weekends, old Clancy never shirked. They said it was amazing how much Clancy loved his work. But one scorching afternoon as he made his final round, he fell into the 60,000-gallon vat and drowned. Oh, the day that Clancy drowned. He could have called for help, but Lord, he never made a sound. We all tried to rescue him, but we didn't have no luck, 'cause he dived to the bottom and we couldn't pull him up. It was a solemn occasion with his buddies gathered round. They had to make arrangements for to put him in the ground. When they took the dear departed over to the funeral place, it took them 7 hours to get that big smile off his face. Brother Daniels preached a funeral, and he had some words to say about the life of Brother Clancy. Oh yes, and how he passed away. Could it not have been avoided, said he, that he should meet this tragic end? Well, preacher, he got out 3 times to go to the bathroom, but he always jumped back in. Oh, the day that Clancy drowned. He was blowing pearly bubbles and swimming all around, a gurgling and a giggling and a wearing that silly grin. Oh, but he fought us like a flounder when we tried to haul him in. Oh, the day that Clancy drowned. It was blowing pearly bubbles, yes sir, and he was swimming all around, a giggling and a gurgling and a wearing that silly grin. But he fought us like a flounder when we tried to haul him in. Oh, the day that Clancy drowned.
Yep. This fella.
Yeah. What a way to go.
Is that your dog jingling over there?
It sounds like jingle tags.
It does.
Indy jingle tags. Indy has more dog tags than the next 3 dogs put together. He's got a rabies tag, and then he's got a tag identifying him as a southeastern guide dog's dog, and he's got one with a little shaped like a house with his find home number, where they can check on the website if he ever got away from me, and they can.
Dan is here.
Hey, Dan.
He said, "Yo, that's my brother."
Brother
Our
Dan's
brother.
here. By golly, and Nan's here too.
Yeah, Nan and Dan.
Yeah, how about that?
We had that growing up. Nan, Dan, Stan. My dad's name was.
Anyway, welcome, sir.
Yes.
Glad you could come by. Here's a song that was written by Jesse Fuller. Now, at least I believe it was. Jesse it was a one-man band. He played a guitar, and then he had a way to play bass with some pedals under one foot, and then he had a drum that he could play with a pedal on his other foot, and he would sing songs about the most depressing stuff in the world to real happy melodies. Here's one of them called the San Francisco Bay Blues. I got the blues when my baby left me down by the Frisco Bay. An ocean liner came and took her away. I didn't mean to treat her bad. She was the best gal I ever had. She said goodbye, made me cry. Made me want to lay down my head and die. Ain't got a nickel and ain't got a lousy dime. She don't come back to think I'm gonna lose my mind. If she ever comes back to stay, it's gonna be another brand new day. Walking with my baby by the San Francisco Bay. sitting here on the back porch, don't know which way to go. The gal that I'm so crazy about, she don't love me anymore. Think I'm gonna take a freight train, 'cause I'm feeling blue. Gonna ride her to the end of the line, thinking only of you. Ain't got a nickel and I ain't got a lousy dime. She don't come back, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. She ever comes back to stay, it's gonna be another brand new day. Walking with my baby by the San Francisco Bay. Walking with my baby by the Frisco Bay.
It's hard not to sing along with that one.
Yeah.
That's a good song. I mean, and it's a happy tune.
It is.
And then you listen to the words, you're like, what?
God, the guy's
Wait
just
a
lost
minute.
his girl and everything else. I first heard it on Uncle Fritz's Hootenanny, the folk music show that was on every Saturday night on the radio back home.
Oh, wow.
And Peter, Paul, and Mary did it.
That's going back a few years.
During that instrumental break, they played kazoos.
Oh, no. They did?
Yeah, so if I can ever get one of those kazoo holder things.
Oh, man, because you
Really?
do own a kazoo.
I do.
You do have
a
one.
good kazoo,
A
not
good
a toy
one, yeah,
either.
not a toy.
Right. Here's another one by Gilmore, Leaf, and Sharp, called Where the Sun Don't Shine. Well, you can take the house and car, they don't mean a thing to me. I'll even throw the neighbors in and all their sympathy. Take me for the fool I am, but keep one thing in mind. You can take your love and put it where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Stick it in the darkest place that you can find. You can take your love and put it where the sun don't shine. You take the dog, the house, the stereo, and the silver tone guitar. And anything else you want, I'll even load it in the car. Take your mother and take your brother and all your tacky friends. I'll even rent a U-Haul to haul y'all in. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Stick it in the darkest place that you can find. Take your love and put it where the sun don't shine. You took away my manly pride and never left a trace. You knocked me down, held me up, and then threw it in my face. You almost took my sanity, now give me peace of mind. Take your love and put it where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Stick it in the darkest place that you can find. Take your love and put it where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Stick it in the darkest place that you can find. Take your love and put it where the sun don't shine.
There you go. That's a catchy tune.
Yeah.
And again, you listen to the words and you're like, what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I like things like that.
Get you wanting to dance and you're like, wait a minute.
What am I doing? Learned a lot of interesting things
Yeah,
when I was.
you learned to play Rocky Top in a way, just different.
I was always putting my auto harp like this, and I ran into Lucille Riley, and I just wanted to talk to her for a few minutes about how she picked her auto harp. 2 hours later, she had showed me why everything I do is wrong.
Yes.
And there were a couple of really good suggestions. So now I'm trying to learn to play the auto harp kind of slanted a little bit this way, because the picks don't catch. And you can do things like this. So I'm gonna try to learn, and that's one of the reasons that I'm making some mistakes today, because I'm trying to unlearn a lot of kinesthetics.
Right.
That
and replace
them with the new ones.
Things.
And like if you want to do, you can do. That's a lot easier because your pick doesn't catch. And that microphone is driving me crazy.
Is it, you running into it?
Yeah, I need to move it over just a little bit more. Now that'll sound.
Well, it has very freed you up.
Yeah, it really has. That's one good thing. She also told me why all the thumb picks I'm using are no good.
Yeah.
And she's right. I get this is a new kind of thumb pick. They're called Golden Gate thumb picks, and they're a little thicker than the thumb picks that I've been using before. And I'll tell you what, Autoharp's friends and neighbors are rough on picks.
Lois said, "Wow, great strum."
Thanks.
Great strum.
Thanks, Lois. But these, I've had these now for a couple of weeks, and this one I use it every day, and it's not wearing out, and I can get, you know. So anyway, you'll see some pretty interesting things happening, but you'll also hear some, stuff too.
Yeah.
Here's a song that was written by Stephen B. Gillette and Thomas E. Campbell. First person I heard do it was John Denver, and it's called Darcy Farrow. Where the Walker runs down to the Carson Valley Plain, there lived a maiden, Darcy Farrow was her name, the daughter of old Dundee, and a fair one was she, the sweetest flower that bloomed o'er the rain. Her voice was sweet as the sugar candy. Her touch was as soft as a bed of goose down. Her eyes shone bright like the pretty lights that shone in the night out of Yarrington town. She was courted by young Vandermeer. A fine lad was he, as I am to hear. He gave her silver rings and lacy things. She promised to wed before the snows came that year. But her pony did stumble and she did fall. Her dying touched the hearts of us one and all. Young Vandy in his pain put a bullet through his brain, and we buried them together as the snows began to fall. They sing of Darcy Farrow, where the Truckee runs through. They sing of her beauty in Virginia City too. At dusky sundown, to her name they drink around. And to young Vandy whose love was true.
That is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Here is a song called Old Age is Golden. And since we're all aging, you know, all, we don't know who wrote it. It appeared as a poem in a St. Louis newspaper in somewhere between 1952 and 1955. The newspaper that it appeared in has gone out of business, but Pete Seeger saw the poem in the newspaper and got permission from the author, who's faded into antiquity, to put it to music. So here it is, Old Age is Golden, as Pete Seeger sang it.
Sang it, yes.
Old age is golden, or so I've heard said, but sometimes I wonder as I crawl into bed, with my ears in a drawer, my teeth in a cup, my eyes on the table until I wake up. As sleep dims my vision, I say to myself, is there anything else I should lay on the shelf? But though nations are warring and Congress is vexed, I'll still stick around to see what happens next. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. When I was young, my slippers were red. I could kick up my heels right over my head. When I was older, my slippers were blue, but still I could dance the whole night through. Now I am older, my slippers are black. I huff to the store and I puff my way back. But never you laugh, I don't mind at all. I'd rather be huffing than not puff at all. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. I get up each morning and dust off my wits. I open the paper and I read the obits. If I'm not there, I know I'm not dead. So I eat a good breakfast and go back to bed. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been.
Yes. I love that song.
Yeah. Heard that on an album that is the only Pete Seeger album I ever owned. I don't even know the title, but it was recorded in 1965 in commemoration of his 50th birthday.
Wow.
He was a great singer and a constant crusader.
Mm-hmm.
And even in his later years, he wrote a song in 2001 about the firefighters at the World Trade Center called "The Bravest."
That was, I thought Tom Paxton maybe did that.
Oh, that's true. Stop.
That was,
that was
I'm
Tom
sorry,
Paxton.
man.
Sorry.
But he's another one of that
he's
era.
Timeless.
Yes.
No, Pete was long past by then.
Oh.
Or is in his in his 90s. I saw an interview with Tom Paxton about that song. We'll sing it again one of these days.
That is worth doing, yes.
Maybe closer to
do it. Closer to September, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this song is a traditional song. It's called the Rooster Song, and it has a zillion verses.
Okay.
What time is it?
Well, all I know is that we've been playing for 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 42 seconds. I don't have a time.
Okay.
But it's kind of the time.
All right. Yeah, it's close. We got about a half hour.
Right,
According
that's
to my
something, around a half
talking
hour.
watch here.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'll sing. I don't want people to get tired of this, but I think it's hilarious. Called the Rooster Song. We had some chickens, no eggs would they lay. We had some chickens, no eggs would they lay. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got these chickens, no eggs will they lay. One day a rooster came into our yard and caught those chickens right off of their guard. They're laying eggs now just like they used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a milk cow, no milk would she give. We had a milk cow, no milk would she give. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this milk cow, no milk will she give. And then that rooster came into our yard and caught that milk cow right off of her guard. She's given eggnog like she never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a dog, no pups did she have. We had a dog, no pups did she have. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this dog, no pups does she have. And then that rooster came into our yard. She caught that doggy right off of her guard. She's having bird dogs like she never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a field, no crops would it grow. We had a field, no crops would it grow. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this field, no crops will it grow. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that field right off of its guard. We're raising eggplant like we never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a gum tree, no gum would it give. We had a gum tree, no gum would it give. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this gum tree, no gum will it give. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that gum tree right off of its guard. We're getting chicklets like we never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a garden, no flowers would it grow. We had a garden, no flowers would it grow. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this garden, no flowers will it grow. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that garden right off of its guard. We're growing chickweed like we never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a comic, no laughs could he get. We had a comic, no laughs could he get. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got this comic, no laughs can he get. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that comic right off of his guard. He's telling bad jokes like he never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a toaster, no toast would it make. We had a toaster, no toast would it make. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We've got a toaster, no toast will it make. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that toaster right off of its guard. It's making Eggos like it never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had an elephant, no tusk would it grow. We had an elephant, no tusk would it grow. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We have an elephant, no tusk will it grow. And then that rooster came into our yard and caught that elephant right off of its guard. She's laying eggs now out of solid ivory, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a gas pump, no gas would it give. We had a gas pump, no gas would it give. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We have a gas pump, no gas will it give. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that gas pump right off of its guard. It's giving shell gas like it never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a rooster, no love would he give. We had a rooster, no love would he give. My wife said, honey, we're losing money. We have a rooster, no love will he give. And then a chicken came into our yard. She caught that rooster right off of his guard. He's laying hens now like he never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. Or chicken came into our yard. Sorry. Ever since that chicken came into our yard. Get bad habits. We had a baker, no bread would he bake. We had a baker, no bread would he bake. My wife said, honey, it isn't funny. We have a baker, no bread will he bake. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that baker right off of his guard. He's baking egg rolls like he never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. We had a teacher, no tests would she give. We had a teacher, no tests would she give. My wife said, honey, it isn't funny. We have a teacher, no tests will she give. And then that rooster came into our yard. He caught that teacher right off of her guard. She's given exams like she never used to, ever since that rooster came into our yard. My Aunt Matilda, no kids did she have. Uh-oh. My Aunt Matilda, no kids did she have. My wife said, honey, it isn't funny. Poor Aunt Matilda, no kids does she have. And then that rooster came into our yard. Matilda caught him right off of his guard. We had fried rooster, I tell you true, sir, last time that rooster came into our yard.
As Dan says, oh my.
Yeah, and then there are some other. I don't want to beat it to death.
No, that you're in danger, probably of that.
There's another dog who wouldn't have any pups, and now they're getting pooched eggs. A toy shop that wouldn't sell any toys, now they're selling Legos.
Yes.
A dump truck that wouldn't move dirt, now we're getting excavations. You know.
Somebody had quite a imagination.
Oh, there's a million verses to this. There really are. Okay, here is a song that was written by, well, at least the poem was written by Dick Gibbons, and this time Tom Paxton really did put it to music.
I had one from Ziggy that said, that's quite a kind of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Anyway, this song is called Sully's Bucket. I've a thing or two to tell you that I think you ought to know about that rusty bucket Sully carries down below. You are not the first one, stranger, that has laughed at Sully's pail. You're the only one who's laughing now. The rest has heard this tale. Sure, when we was young and handsome, had some 10 years in the game, Old Sol, he had a partner, and Jim Riley was his name. They had knocked about together Bingham, Butte, and Coeur d'Alene, and they brawled in every bar room from Ely to Fort McLean. Now me and old Ted Johnson, sure you'll not remember him. We was working at the Raris, had a stoke with Sol and Jim. The 4 of us together, we was working side by side. That's how come I chanced to be there on the night Jim Riley died. Well, the blasting, it was easy, it was comin' out like sand. And we was mucking out the ore, those days we mucked by hand. And we was nearly finished, and we hadn't heard a sound. But something must a happened, for Jim Riley yelled bad ground. As we came around the ore car, Sully must have took a spill, for when we looked back in there, he was pinned beneath his drill. The ceiling, it was groaning, now I'll set to drop the lid, and Sully pinned beneath his drill was sobbing like a kid. Now there's men can watch their partners die, not throw their lives away. But Riley wasn't one of them, he wasn't built that way. Soon's he seen what happened, hey, hold on there, Sol, he cried. And before he had the words out, he had thrown the drill aside. Well, they came around the car, Riley wearing a big grin. Guess he never knew what happened when the hanging wall caved in. Sully reached the timber in, his face as white as chalk, and Riley 2 yards back of him caught 15 ton of rock. That day Sully's pail was buried, he ate from Riley's pail in tears. And he's carried that same bucket now for more than 20 years. So you can laugh at Sol because he's mean and drinks a lot. But don't laugh at Sully's bucket. That's the only friend he's got.
Whoa. That's powerful.
That was on Tom Paxton's 1965 album, Good News.
Wow.
You're going to hear a couple more songs from that album next show, where I am going to come out of the closet, if you will, and reveal more of my roots. It's going to be called Protesters and Politicians.
We're going to kick them around a little bit.
And we are going to show them no mercy.
That's right.
Because they're showing us none. I have a song that has a chorus, an honest politician ain't nothing but a lie.
Yeah.
And I think there's truth to that. Anyway, look for that on the 13th of July.
Yes, it's going to be a little bit.
Well,
from
there's 5 Saturdays in June, so it'll be 3 weeks from today.
Yes.
All right. Here's
Ivan is here.
Oh, hello, Ivan.
Hi,
Hope you're
just
feeling
woke
better.
up from a nap.
Welcome.
Yes, good to have you.
Hope you're doing all right. My goodness. Really enjoyed our phone call the other night.
Yes, well, really good to hear from you.
It's great to hear from you. I'm glad you could stop by and all for a few minutes here. And hopefully we'll see you tonight as well.
Yes.
Here is a song that was written by Shel Silverstein. The first time I heard it was the recording that the Chad Mitchell Trio did of it. Once I heard it, and then I realized Shel Silverstein wrote it, I should have known. I just should have known. It's called The Three-Legged Man.
Yeah.
Well, now, friends, you'll never guess it, so I really must confess it. I just met the sweetest woman of my longest life. But a friend of mine said, buddy, just in case your mind is muddy, don't you know that girl you're fooling with is Fake Leg Johnson's wife? And that man is big and tough and mean and grim, and he'll brain you with his artificial limb. The next morning, bright and early, I stole a Peg Leg's girlie, and I also took his wooden leg just to play it safe. Oh, but there weren't no time for laughter, 'cause he started hopping after, and I keep on running faster, but he won't give up the chase. And I'm running through the mountains with his bride, and I've got his wooden leg here by my side. I'm a three-legged man with a two-legged woman being chased cross-country by a one-legged fool. Oh, he's huffing and he's hopping and he showed no sign of stopping. I tell you, boys, his life is hard to cool. Cross the deserts and the valleys and them dark Chicago alleys, cross the mighty Mississippi to the hills of Caroline, through the mountains of Montana and the swamps of Louisiana. Every time that I look back, he's just one step behind, and I know he must be cold and wet and sick, but in spite of all his troubles, he can kick. I'm a three-legged man with a two-legged woman being chased cross country by a one-legged fool. Oh, he's humping and he's hopping and he's showing no sign stopping. I tell you, boys, that life is hard and cool. Now he's ragged and he's filthy. I'm feeling kind of guilty, especially in the evening when I hear him plead and beg. He says, spite of all your stealing, friend, I'll bear you no hard feelings. You keep the damned old woman, but please give me back my leg. Because although the leg you meant to take was wooden, in the dark by mistake you took my good one. I'm a three-legged man with a two-legged woman being chased cross country by a one-legged fool. Oh, he's hopping and he's hopping and he shows the sign stopping. I tell you, boys, that life is hard and
Yeah. Ivan replied, feeling good. That's good to know.
That's great to hear.
Yes.
That's great to hear. Here's one of Dan's favorites. I hope he's still around. I was kind of hoping he'd show up today so I could sing this. Let me...
Oh, wait a minute. Ricky said, I remember this one. Freaking at the Freakers Ball, wasn't it? Loved seeing and hearing you two again. You two haven't changed much in those nearly 50 years. Yep, it has been that long.
Yeah, I guess...
It has, I know.
Yeah, it really has. I guess that's a testament to the old saying, some people just never learn, Ricky.
Yeah.
No, we've been through a lot and we've done a lot.
Yeah.
I made a living in the computer industry for close to 40 years, and I'm proud to say that Lynn only worked when she wanted to.
Yeah. I was able
she
to do
was always-
artwork and
she-
do painting, and I got to paint windows for a while, do some sign painting,
Yeah.
some stuff like that.
drawings, and
Yeah.
she could always be here when our kids got home.
Yeah, we had
And-
two, a boy and a girl.
Yeah,
Boy
boy and a
first,
girl.
girl second.
Yeah.
They're about a year and a half apart.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Greg and Amber.
So, yeah, we're pretty much, like I said, some people never learn. Okay. This song was written and recorded by John Denver, and darn near got him beat to a pulp by a big old gal who resented it. It's called Saturday Night in Toledo, Ohio. Saturday night in Toledo, Ohio is like being nowhere at all. All through the day, how the hours rush by. You sit in the park and you watch the grass die. Ah, but after the sunset, the dusk and the twilight, when shadows of night start to fall, they roll back the sidewalk precisely at 10, and people who live there are not seen again. Just two lonely truckers from Great Falls, Montana, and a salesman from places unknown, says unknown. All huddled together in downtown Toledo to spend their big night all alone. You ask how I know of Toledo, Ohio. Well, I spent a week there one day. They got entertainment to dazzle your eyes. go visit the bakery and watch the buns rise. Ah, but let's not forget that the folks of Toledo unselfishly gave us the scale. No springs, honest weight, that's the promise they made. So smile and be thankful next time you get weighed. And with and when with, let this be our motto. Let's let the sleeping dogs lie, ping dogs lie. And here's to the dogs in Toledo, Ohio. Ladies, we bid you goodbye.
Sadie's over there dreaming and kicking her feet.
Yep.
Great Dane style.
Well, at least she's kicking them, not licking them.
Right, but man,
she's got an infection on one of her feet, right about where the heel would be for a human being, and she won't leave it alone.
I got her fixed where she can't do it right now.
Then
I got
wrapped
her
it up in that elastic bandage
that stuff that sticks to itself. But I
Yeah.
put on a gauze pad and ointment and stuff. Dan said, "Awesome, thanks."
Glad you liked it.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
She'll be all right. I've had this before with my dogs.
It happens.
You know.
Sadie's going to be 10 years old on August the 29th.
Yeah, so she's...
Which is ancient for a Great Dane.
Yeah.
And our little
Aussie
Shepherd has got bladder cancer.
But she's hanging in there.
She's hanging in there. We've got her on some medication. We had to put her on canned dog food. Mm-hmm. But Greg rescued that dog back in 2008 when she was like 4 weeks old, and she's fed her puppy starter and everything, and he just can't let her go.
Well, I can't hardly either. She has been
She's a great
tremendous dog.
One of, if not the smartest dogs I've ever owned or trained.
Or been around, in my case.
She is something. When we had Asa, our one and only male Great Dane, I'd take him out sometimes and he'd mess with me because he knew I couldn't see. You know, dogs figure that out real quick.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah, no, the house is this way. Let's go this way. Right? And one day, I got lost a couple times, you know, kind of got disoriented, but I found my way back. One day, Dixie happened to be out.
At the same time.
And I said, okay, let's go in. And he headed some other way. And she got in front of him and barked and raised hell and ran back and forth in front of him until he couldn't go that way.
Right.
She would not let him go that way. And then she ran back and forth the way we were supposed to go. And I heeled him over that way and followed Dixie. And he said, oh, hell, the jig is up.
Right.
Traitor! But he was
a big old fawn with the black mask and all the typical Great
Dixie
Dane.
used to love to drink beer.
Oh,
typical Aussie.
Yeah,
just pat a few pots, mate. Get plowed.
But man, she's an old one now.
Yeah, she'll be 16 if she makes it to November.
Yeah.
Great dog. I mean, just a great dog. When Sadie was young, Lynn was eating cheese and crackers. And Sadie was over there begging and drooling and all. And we hadn't had her long, and she hadn't learned her manners yet.
Right.
And I said, Dixie, I don't want Sadie begging for Linda's cheese. And I said it just like that, just on a whim.
Yeah.
She went over there and barked at her and drove her away from that cheese and made her lay down in her crate.
Right. Put her up.
Put her up. Gonna go up, mate.
Sadie was about 6 or 7 months old.
Yeah, she wasn't very old.
She wasn't a year old.
Get over there, pup.
That's right.
I'll let you know when you can come out.
I already raised one.
That's right.
Because she was the puppy when Asa was a puppy.
Yeah.
She backed him into his crate when.
Yeah. Oh, she had him.
He came prancing up to her like, "Hey, how are you?" And she lit into him. And at that point, she, as small as she was bigger than he was at 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And put him. His feelings were so crushed.
She was the runt of the litter, and she wasn't getting any milk.
Right.
All the other pups were keeping her, and she was starving.
Yeah.
And
Greg took her.
the lady that Greg was living with at the time, they bred Aussies, and she was the runt. And he took her on, and then when they broke up, he came here to stay with us because we needed some help around here, and I needed somebody in case something happened to Lynn and all. And they've been here ever since. And
yeah, she's just
a great dog, but everything passes. So.
Well, it's really hard.
Anyway.
I say 2 hours and 22 seconds.
Yeah, well, we got a little bit of time. We got a little bit more to do, rather. So, here's another Tom Paxton tune called "The Name of the Game Is Stud." Well, late last night in the kettle of fish, I was having a glass of beer, when up comes a rounder by the name of Sam, who lately been seen around here. He gives me a howdy and he buys me a drink and he calls me by my name. Says some of the boys are just a-wedding upstairs, would you like to have a poker game? There were 4 or 5 fellows around the table upstairs. The smoke was thick as sin. They took my coat and they pulled up a chair and they proceeded to deal me in. I started in a winning with the very first hand, and I kept on winning for a while. Had money in my pockets and money in my shoes and money in a great big pile. But it's, oh Lordy, don't you see this old stud poker be the ruin of me? You gotta get ready to shed some blood when the name of the game is stud. I kept on winning for an hour or more, and the boys was feeling low. I was looking like a winner and feeling like a sinner, and I just about had their dough. I caught a pair of aces on the very last hand, and I bet my whole bankroll. But Sammy had a pair of deuces on the deck and another deuce in the hole. And it's, oh Lordy, don't you see, this old stud poker be the ruin of me? You gotta get ready to shed some blood when the name of the game is stud. I lost every penny that I had in the world. I lost my last red cent. Now my old woman ain't talking to me, and the landlord wants his rent. I know I had it coming, and it sure enough did, and I've only got myself to blame. But my fingers keep itching, and I keep on twitching just to find another poker game. And it's, oh Lordy, don't you see this old stud poker be the ruin of me? You gotta get ready to shed some blood when the name of the game is stud.
Ricky said, I recall Penny and Thor, both awesome dogs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Penny was a Doberman, and Thor was a
German Shepherd.
Yeah.
He liked beer, too.
Yeah, and fireworks.
And he loved fireworks. Only dog I've ever had. He loved fireworks. Now, he was an interesting dog because he was like 3 or 4 years old when he went into guide dog training.
He was donated, wasn't he?
He was donated. Back then, some of the schools took donated dogs. And his running buddy got transferred to Chicago, where he had to live in an apartment. He couldn't take the dog, so he donated him to them. And it broke Thor's heart.
He lost his person.
He lost his buddy.
He never got over it.
He never got over it. I was his second handler, and he didn't work for me either. But he could do some damn interesting things. He could pick up a balloon and carry it around in his mouth and not break it.
Right.
He could stand on a pool cue, and 2 guys could pick it up, one on each end, and he'd balance on that pool cue a couple feet off the ground. I don't know what other bar tricks the guy had done with him, but they were best buds, and poor Thor never really quite got over it. Well, we are just about to the end. We're going to wrap up now. Are there any other comments?
No.
Okay. Hold all the others until after, and we will read all of them, folks.
Yeah, just...
Now, if you are of a mind to support our little effort here, we'd love it if you would put a $1 or $2 in our virtual tip jar. It's at paypal.com. autoharp.down.home@gmail.com, or you can go to the website, autoharpdownhome.com, where you can also pick up a copy of our CD, if you still have a CD player, that is. Or even if you don't, you can still pick one up. It's called Forever Friends, and all of the money, it's all about dogs, and it talks about dog ownership from the time we get a puppy until the sad day when we have to say goodbye. And all the money is going to go to Dogs Inc., the school that trained my great guide dog Indy. And there is a donate link if you want to donate money, or pick up a copy of our CD. And I'd like to close with this thought. Light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright until you hear them.
Yeah.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye to George and all his kin. We'd sure like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back real soon to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. Down home style, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now here.
And Lavonda said, great show, as always.
Oh, thanks, Lavonda.
Catch you next time.
It was great to see all you guys. And
it
was especially good to see you, Ricky.
Yes, we shall
really,
get with you
we
as
have
soon
got
as
to
we
get
can.
together.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to at least hook up and talk over the phone or something and catch up.
Yes.
My goodness, I don't want to lose track of you again.
No. And thank you, everyone, for coming by.
Indeed. Really do appreciate it.
Shall I hit the...
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, there was one more and I missed it. I don't think I can go back. I think it was Nan. Had a good time. Anyway, I'm going to hit end.